You all know the story of Adam and Eve and their two sons, Cain and Abel. Abel was killed by Cain, and Cain, well, he didn't fare very well. 6 generations later, we see the first polygamist who had 2 wives. Yeah, that's Lamech. But interestingly enough, the children from those 2 wives, you've got some pretty ambitious people here. Tubal-Cain is making all the metal instruments out of copper, brass, and iron. And then you've got Jubal and Jabal, who were the father of those who dwell in tents and have cattle, and also musical instruments. But the story does not end there. Years later, when Noah built the ark and invited everybody to come on board, guess who didn't? That's right, all the children of Lamech, great-grandchildren, everyone died in the worldwide flood. Only the folks from the line of Seth went on board. Sorry, Cain, none of your people actually made it. You all...
This is 70 AD. Slaves have taken over the world. This is how it happened. This is roughly the distribution of lands for the bloodlines. This is after the flood. There was a major reset war in 70 AD, aka 1070 AD. 1,000 years have been injected in the timeline. Canaan was a slave, Genesis 9 and 27, and the Canaanites or Canaanites, the Genghis Khananites, took over a large swath of land throughout the 1200s. This coincided with the Mamluk takeover. Mamluk means owned or slave. The fall of Rome is actually 1476. This coincided with the adoption of Christianity and precipitated the dark age that we currently live in. Again, Rome is Edom, the brother of Israel. They are both Shemites, but Edomites are not Israelites. The royal families of Europe come from Edomite women and Japhethite fathers, particularly Ashkenaz. This hybridization produced the Anglos, or angels, the fallen angels, the Anglo-Saxons, or the Saka, which are the Scythians, or the Japhethites. They act as if they're German and even call Germany Ashkenaz. The Sax, or Saxon-Coburg-Gotha family changed their name to Windsor, and that is the royal family of England today. Brits were black, swarthy, like King Charles, and they were taken over by the Anglos. King George III, the last king of America, and Queen Charlotte, his wife, were light-skinned black people. You can see it. The American Revolution, the French Revolution, and the Napoleonic Wars. These are slave uprisings and reset wars. Up until the late 1700s, Benjamin Franklin referred to the French, the Russians, the Italians, the Spaniards, and even the Germans and Swedes as swarthy. From 1775 to 1870, we have worldwide reset wars. The King of England today admits he comes from the Vlad Dracula bloodline, the vampiric bloodline. The world and the dreams have been colonized because parasites live in colonies. These chimeric slave clones were created to be soldiers and laborers. Now the soulless clones have gained enough power to forcibly crossbreed with the Rogam shot, creating heterozygous offspring. Millions were created and enslaved by their black, mulatto, and quadroon masters. The vanity and pride of people like the Moors precipitated these uprisings. Slaves ruled slaves. Life got even worse. There is no honor amongst parasites, and they will consume each other. That is why endless war and sacrifice continues. Genghis Khan said, "I am the punishment of God. If you had not committed great sins, God would not have sent a punishment like me upon you." If only aboriginals could get along like Esau and Jacob in Genesis 33 when they reconcile. Parasites could never penetrate, and order would be restored. Even slaves could live a decent life. When those who are designed to lead don't lead, everybody suffers. When slaves lead, we all live like slaves. When soulless clones lead, they are in perfect position for parasites and fallen angels to inhabit them. Nobody is immune to vanity and pride, but grafts are even more susceptible to it. This is how the world is raped and the parasite spreads. At least 1 billion people are infected by the parasite that Genghis Khan had today. Humanity and mankind are not man. Know the difference. Slaves
in this room right now, there must be so many.
80% of the Caucasian population.
80% of the Caucasian population are clones.
Racist.
So, it's not about racism.
No, it's nothing to do with race.
Is there any science? Is there any science that you could have a clone in your life, that you're in love with a clone? Like, I know a lot of people say that they don't think, they don't have internal dialogue. Is there anything you've come across?
That's exactly what I was about to say. So Dolores Cannon did the work on this. So Benjamin Franklin also wrote about this, saying that there was a dire need to fill America with Caucasian people. So for whatever reason, they decided to do that. They say that there is no inner dialogue, and they called it whitewashing. But Dolores Cannon believed that 80% of the population that look like me can't trace their family tree back past really the 1800s with any accuracy, and we refer to them today as NPCs.
Wow.
She said they were soulless. I don't think anything living is soulless. I think we all have a connection. But it was called whitewashing, for want of a better expression. And it was to make out, and they did this at the World's Fairs and Expositions, they would have on display people from indigenous tribes, and they would bring children from Africa, put them on display, and they were labelled as primitive and savage.
Wow.
And this was specifically to dumb down and remove history. And this is connected to the Moors from Africa, who built some of the most beautiful architecture in the world. They wanted everyone to consider them as primitive, and Tartaria was removed for a similar reason. So we would consider Moscow, Russia, to be behind, a little bit backward, and that was another part of it. So that's what happened. And what I'd suggest people do is watch the second film that Alice Guy produced, which is on YouTube. It's called Midwife to the Upper Classes, and you'll see an example there of where the middle class couple come in.
Seven years after the Russian Revolution, the Soviet government cements its power. Now its leaders look to stamp out religion, seeing it as a hindrance in a socialist society.
Lenin and Stalin are both convinced they have to absolutely eradicate religion if they're going to bring about the glorious communist revolution. Following the ideas of Marx, they think it's the opium of the people, and it's got to go.
To further that cause, Stalin turns to a scientist named Ilya Ivanov, who has an unusual interest in human genetics.
To show off the potential of this new science, Ivanov has already produced crossbreeds.
But in 1924, he decides to try something far beyond merging two animals together.
What Ivanov is proposing is to crossbreed humans and chimpanzees.
Are we? I mean, you're not human. I mean, you're human, but you're not real. You're not like a real person, like me. You're clones. You're copies of people out here in the world. What? Clones?
You don't find that suspicious? You don't find that suspicious? You don't find that suspicious?